Okay. Welcome back, fellas. Welcome back to the channel, Facts on Facts. Welcome to the party. Welcome to the party for real. Because that leads me to this video's topic. So this is now officially the third video that I'm dropping on this channel. Like I said, I'm new to this space, just forwarding in. Speaking facts on facts for you guys, for my audience, to make us all do better with women, in turn doing better with ourselves, so we're more at peace with ourselves. And as I said in the previous video, making women a positive addition to our lives, not a negative one. A good distraction, not a bad distraction. Okay, so I remember on the last video, I spoke about at the start 3 main ways of approaching the videos. However, I think I only actually mentioned 2. So I think I said that I was either going to decide the topic, or I wanted you guys to make suggestions of topics and issues you wanted me to address, either by dropping them in the comments section or emailing me directly on emailing at factsonfacts@mail.com. I just say that again, factsonfacts@mail.com, with your with any issues or topics on women that you want me to address in regards to this modern dating hookup culture in 2026. So yeah, basically the third and final way of approaching these videos for now will be me possibly just speaking about my own personal experiences with women, or any one in particular said woman, or relationship or relations or situationship, fling, hookup, link, whatever you want to call it, experience that I've had with a woman. So those are going to be the 3 main ways. I decide the topic, or you guys decide the topic and tell me what you want me to talk about, and I'll give you my take and view on that area. Or I'm going to talk about my personal experiences with women. And anyway, across all the videos, every now and then, it's probably going to lead to me maybe referring to a personal experience that I've had with women. Anyway, at the end of the day, all this knowledge that I'm kicking for you guys is coming from personal first-hand experience of dealing with women in the real world. It's not coming from something I read in a book or something somebody taught me. As you know, the best way to learn in life and gain knowledge is from first-hand experience. You got to get out in the field, make it happen, test the waters. You've got to get burned, once bitten, twice shy, and all that. We learn best from our mistakes. So there's nothing more valuable than real-time experience. So that's what I'm always going to be. That's always going to be the angle where I'm coming from, real-time experience. Okay, so we're nearly 5 minutes into this video. So as I said, I don't want to ramble on too much. I want to stay on topic. So this particular video, as you can see in the title, is about talking stage. Okay, I'm just going to run through with you guys at the moment now, at the start of 2026, where we are. I'm going to talk about how I go about dealing with women now in the early stages, from getting the girl, as in pulling the girl, the initial interaction, whether it's getting the number, or going off with the girl then and then, which is what I'm about to explain. I'm about to get into that, because obviously there's a big difference between getting a girl's number and going off with a girl then and then in a moment when you just met her. There's a big difference. But I'm going to explain the differences, and I'm going to, more importantly, explain how I go about things at the moment. And it's not completely how I go about things, but it is a way. It is a current strategy Although I don't like to use that word strategy because that sounds a bit too calculated. It's just more a current mentality and mindset at the moment. It's probably a better way of putting it. Of how I'm dealing with the modern dating hookup culture. And the reason why I'm sharing it with you guys is because it seems to be working quite well for me in terms of bringing me peace, peace with my relations with women. And I want the best for you guys with women and yourselves. And I want you guys to be at peace. So that's why I'm sharing this current mindset and approach of mine. Okay. So, as we said, it's 2026. You, depending on your age, will depend on how much you can relate to what I'm saying in regards to the generational changes and shifts in society that you're going to hear me referring to every now and then in these videos. Generational changes of how men and women deal with each other, the female and male dynamics in dating and relationships, and as I say, the modern hookup dating culture, etc., etc. So as you know, Rome wasn't built in a day. So everything, every scenario, situationship, relationship, even if it ends up being a marriage later down the line, although I'll be honest with you guys, in 2026, we don't really advocate for marriage. I do feel like a marriage is not in a man's interest. I don't really see the point of a man getting formally married to a woman now. It's not in his interest at all. This video isn't about marriage and alimony and how men can be burnt from marriage, so I'm not going to spend too long talking about that. But just keep it short. Marriage only really appears to be in the female's interest. So yeah, fellas, I recommend you get married. If you want to put a ring on it, you can put a ring on it. You can put a maybe like a promise ring, a ring of intention, or even if you do want to get married, I don't know, maybe it can be like a civil thing. I don't think you need to go the whole way where maybe civil isn't the right word then, but you don't need to go the whole way where the government is involved and you're actually signing papers and it's actually a formal legal binding agreement. We don't need to be doing any of that. Okay, so back to the topic, how I go about women in the initial stages now, talking stage. Well, fellas, I recommend all you guys follow this strategy in terms of I live the most and greatest social life of abundance that I can within my means now. So it's very, very important for us to remain abundant with women. It's very, very important for us to have a vibrant social life. Obviously, it's important for us to be on our purpose and have ambition and be working towards, our work and career goals. If you have children, obviously it's important for you to be a family man in that aspect and spend time with your children, nurture and train your children, and spend time and have fun with your children. All these things will obviously keep you naturally busy, and being busy will always help you with women because it will allow you to not be attached to them as much. It will allow you to maintain detachment, which will obviously naturally create more mystery with the woman. It will make you less available, which hopefully should make the woman desire you more and effectively just view you as higher value. So again, when we're talking about value in this modern dating hookup culture sense, we're not actually talking about financial value. We're not talking about your net worth, or your resources or access to resources. We're talking about how women view you sexually and romantically. So really, we're talking about your SMV, your sexual market value, and not being too available, and keeping busy is always going to help you do better with women and win with women. So, coming back to what I was saying, you must live a social life of abundance. You have to get out and about and socialize. For me, personally, I'm old school. I've never been into dating apps. I've never used a dating app in my life. I'm not into social media. I don't have a personal Instagram. I don't have a personal Facebook. I've gone through some eras where I have had to use the Snapchat account actively, but it was only for like a year or two, and this was years ago, maybe about 2026 now, so maybe 8 to 10 years ago. Maybe there was a little stint where I was relatively active on Snapchat for 2 to 3 years, but even that was very, very private. It was only, a small circle of friends and associates that I would actually allow to view my stories. You could go into the settings and customize who you could actually pick and choose who had access to view your stories. It would only be a select few. Because I'm just private like that. I'm not about putting myself out like that. I'm just a private guy. And I'm old school. And in the old school, the era where I'm from, when you like a woman, you see a woman, you go up to a woman, you approach her, you make a manly approach, you move to her at an appropriate time. So obviously it's better if there's a choosing signal and she's showing some sort of interest in your opinion. So you move to the girl at an appropriate time. You don't get in a private space, but you make a respectful, gentlemanly approach. Grab your nuts, go over, introduce yourself, somehow, some way, strike up a conversation. For me personally, I wouldn't necessarily just go up to a girl and just introduce myself and then start talking. Because to be fair, that might even be, to me, that probably comes across a bit formal. I would find a way to naturally start a conversation, and then obviously from the conversation going back and forth, at some point there probably would be an introduction of names, and then you get her name, blah, blah, blah. And depending on the situation, you might exchange numbers. I'm going to get onto the number game soon. You might exchange numbers and go your own way. One thing lead to another, whatever, just go from there. Anyway, because I'm keeping these videos authentic, I'm not really going to be doing much editing. So I'm just going to try and correct myself in live real time if I feel like I'm going off topic a bit, and jump back on topic. Okay, so I'm jumping back on topic now, back to how I'm dealing with the initial introductions and talking stage. So mainly now, because of the way things are in 2026, the way how men have been shamed for approaching women, in my opinion, stranger danger, these type of comments, this type of female mentality, females exaggerating things and making out like they're being harassed, to a point now where if you're an intelligent, self-aware and social aware male, you know that moving to a girl now in a normal day-to-day setting comes with a lot of risk. It comes with risk of your public reputation. If the girl reacts to your approach the wrong way, you can be branded a creep. She can make disproportionate claims of harassment. You can really be rejected ruthlessly. Ruthless, brutal rejection, where your approach can be misconstrued or deliberately made out to be sinister, when of course it wasn't sinister. Of course, you're just a man that obviously found the lady attractive and you wanted to move to her and get to know her, and you were just making a manly approach, and for whatever reason it wasn't the right time in her life, or she doesn't find you attractive, whatever it is, obviously she's not interested, but she can't respectfully and gracefully reject you. It's the type of woman that has to attention seek, in my opinion, exaggerate, kick up a big stink, and just be dramatic about the fact that you dared to approach. Like, what on earth made you think you could get her? Where basically it's going to put you in a position where you look like you're harassing women in public. That's not a good look, fellas. It's not a good look at all. No man wants to be viewed like that. No man wants to be viewed as a creep, or someone who's into harassing women. So as a result of that, I think that has made definitely myself and a lot of guys really think twice about approaching women, and it's made us fall back. It's made us fall back for real, because there's a lot of these women, when the approach goes left, like I said, their reaction is blown completely out of proportion, and they deliberately go out of their way to shame you and make you out to be, a bad guy, a low vibration, low value bad guy. It's wrong. It's borderline defamation of character. So that's now created a situation where, if, like I said, you're an intelligent, socially aware guy, you should know by now that moving to girls in these real daytime, well, not just daytime, but just these real lifetime situations. The reason why I say daytime, because I mean like environments like, say, when you're at the gym, supermarket, in a workplace, if you work with women, although that's a fixed location, so I would have never recommended doing anything like that anyway. By fixed location, I mean, obviously, if you work with a girl, the approach goes, or even the relationship or situation, it goes left, it's difficult for you to remove yourself from the situation. It'll be difficult for her to remove herself from the situation. So that's why it's always best not to deal with girls in a fixed location. So again, this will come to the gym. If it's a gym that you regularly go to, then as far as I'm concerned, that now becomes a fixed location. You don't want the awkwardness of moving to a girl. It goes wrong, she reacts a little bit, like I said, exaggerates, people witness that, and effectively your character is defamed. And now people in your local gym are looking at you some type of way, and they've got the wrong idea about you, and it's now not a very nice, it's not as good an experience, a gym use experience. So yeah, don't talk to girls at the gym. They don't want to be spoken to anyway. Now, of course, girls always want to be spoken to by the guy that they find attractive, but if they're not into you like that for whatever reason, or they're not available, i.e. they have a boyfriend or husband or whatever, then they're not available. And that's one thing you guys must remember. Girls don't always take things personal when girls reject you. If a girl says no, and no does mean no, fellas, if a girl says no, it could be for a number of reasons. It's not always necessarily something about you or something you need to correct about yourself, or because you're not attractive, or blah blah blah, re-te-te. She might just not be available. When a girl says no, how I always look at it is, she's not available. We're not always going to be privy to the reason. Girls don't owe us any feedback, summary, or was closure or insight into the real reasons why we couldn't progress with them. Yes, it would be nice, because knowledge is power. It would be nice to have this information, but you have to detach from all of that and just focus on the outcome. That's what I do. Just focus on the outcome. The outcome is something happening? Are we making something happen or not? Okay. There's a lot of times these girls, they are not emotionally available. They are seeing someone, they have a boyfriend, they have a husband, they've got 3 or 4 guys on the go. 3 or 4 boyfriends, they got a husband, they got a side man. They haven't got time for you. It's not that they're not interested, they're just not available. You just move on to the next. So with girls, it's always going to be a numbers game, a law of averages. Move on to the next. It's very important that you're dealing with girls that are actually available. And in turn, that will mean that they actually have genuine interest in you. Okay? Every no brings you closer to a yes, so you never take rejection from a girl personal. It's part and parcel. It's an occupational hazard. It's part of the game. So anyway, yeah. So back to talking stage. The only environment that I can now see in today's society in 2026 where it's still relatively socially acceptable for a man to move to a girl is on the night scene, is being out and about in bars and nightclubs. I wouldn't even say restaurants for a meal because, again, how are you going to approach a girl in a restaurant? Well, why would a girl be in a restaurant? She's going to be there with someone, right? Unless she's having dinner on her own. But majority of girls, they don't have alpha mindsets. They don't really do things on their own. They don't have the confidence to do that. If you're going to see a girl in a restaurant, she's going to be with a group of friends, right? Or at least one friend or family, mother, sister, whatever. You get the point. She's not going to be on her own. So for you to go and approach a girl when she's with company, platonic company, even romantic company, but obviously you're not going to do no dumb shit like that. It's not a good time to approach her. It's not socially acceptable. So for me, the only real socially acceptable environments now to move to women is on night outs. And a night out would constitute obviously being in a bar or being in a nightclub or being on the strip, so on the precinct, wherever, walking around from bar to bar, being in the hub, in the area where the women are. But the main reason why the women are there is because obviously they've gone on a night out. The main reason why you're there is because you're on a night out. And then we're all going to bump into each other and mingle. Okay. So I will go out, I'll be out and about. Put myself around women, obviously. Put myself around women. If women is what you're after, then you need to put yourself around women. So I put myself around women. Personally, I'm a guy who waits on choosing signals. I'm not really into cold approaching. It's not that because I think cold approaching doesn't work. Obviously, cold approaching would just be a massive numbers game, and cold approaching would work if you knew how to execute it in a certain manner. It's just that it's going to be very labor intensive, very time consuming, and you're really gonna have to talk to a lot of women to find one who is available and actually interested in you. So that's why I don't really cold approach. I just don't really have the time for all of that. But when you've leveled up to a certain point, you can put in terms of your image and your resources, just in terms of attraction, basically. You've leveled up to a point where you put yourself in a position where women can actually find you attractive from first impression. You're gonna get choosing signals, and then obviously you can act on the choosing signal and approach them from there. So I will approach a woman, retete. I like to get things kicking almost instantly now, and the reason why I prefer the sooner the better now is because of what I've said in the previous videos. Women are emotionally unstable. They chop and change. Their feelings change all the time. The sooner you make something happen with her, really, the better, because you never know, they might not be around tomorrow. you never know if you're coming or going with them. On that note, I'm going to end the video here just because it's 25 minutes in, and I'm going to continue this topic in the next video, just so you guys don't lose your attention and stay with me. So like, comment, subscribe, and welcome to the party for real. This is Facts on Facts, and I'm going to get up with you guys in the next video where we're going to keep on running through how I go about women today in the modern dating, hookup culture, and talking stage. Peace out.